let's go to the Sunday Age. And look, I think this story that David Crowe has written is absolutely bang on. I think that there are so many Australians who are underemployed and we never see it in the statistics. Millions in struggle to work more report fines. David Crowe writes that millions of Australians are struggling to work more hours and lift their earnings in a gig economy that suppresses wage growth. According to new research that reveals key pressure points across the country, the nation's outer suburbs and regions, no surprises there, are suffering most from the barriers to greater employment. In a challenge hidden by the nation's headline 5.3% unemployment rate, Labor's going to cite the research as underutilisation to warn about 2 million Australians aren't getting what they need from the labour market. Martin, I'll go back to you on this one first. I'm unsurprised by this. You know, a lot of people are doing it really, really tough, and you also look at the numbers. I know the government keeps telling us they've got immigration at, you know, at low levels, but they don't take into account all the student visas and other things. And there is a black market, whether people want to admit to it or not, of people sort of working extra jobs as cleaners, and we see underpayment stories every single week here on the front page. It seems to me this is pretty right, that there are a lot of underemployed people.
I think it's a really important story. We've heard snippets of this in the past, but sometimes we get a bit desensitised to it. The unemployment rate never tells the full story. I think there is a lot of underemployed people. There's been very sluggish wage growth, and as a result, the cost of living is really squeezing a lot of people. Yeah,
you're right about the cost of living, and I heard a news report today, Kel, where they're saying that health insurance premiums are going up by something like 2.9% next April, and I thought, goodness, and they're saying that's lower than the rest of medical, the medical costs, if you like, which will be, I don't know, about 3.8%. But goodness me, a lot of people's salaries haven't gone up by 2.9%. A lot of people are underemployed.
Yep. Look, the problem with this underemployment thing is it belongs to anecdata. It's a lovely new word, anecdata. In other words, it's anecdotal stuff being treated as if it's really clear, serious, firm data. I think what we actually need is hard evidence. So we need the Bureau of Statistics to do proper research, not just on the total level of unemployment, but the number of people who are dropping out of the workforce and choosing not to work, which is another important figure, which we don't always know, and the people who are, as you say, underemployed. One of the other things that happens is you're getting more and more employers who are talking to their workforce and really pressuring them, saying you want the job, then you'll do an extra couple of hours today and you won't be you won't charge overtime for it. Now, if all of that unpaid overtime was taken out and created another job, you'd take someone out of the unemployed field. So we need evidence. We need more than anecdotes. We need more than impressions. We need evidence. It would be really healthy if the federal government said to the Bureau of Statistics, tell us what's actually happening, find the evidence. We want more than anecdata, which you've got to admit is a lovely new word, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a cracking word. You're so good. You're such a wordsmith. But just before we move on, I mean, Martin, do you think that the government would do that? Because I'm not sure they'd like the results.
Well, Kel makes some interesting points there, and there are people's experiences, and we often touching into people's experiences. There's what people feel, and there's the reality. So perspective is important here as well. I think a lot of people feel that the level of economic growth is doing nothing for them.
So do I.
And they're left behind.
Yep, indeed.